Going on, guys? It is Bellboy Brand Investments. Last week we talked about evaluation. This week's we're going to talk a little bit about relax mode and slowing things down, because we're always talking about hyping things up and going really fast. I think it's really important that slow isn't necessarily a bad thing. So the topic of this week, relax mode and slowing things down. This week we're actually on a 3-week streak of beating the S&P 500, so I'm super pumped about that. Had one off week, but then that's 10 weeks in a row if we're just not counting that 1 week where we missed. The S&P 500 was up 0.5% and my portfolio was up 1.32%. Month to date down 4%, but overall my year to date is up 67%, so I'm pretty proud of that. The agenda this week, we have the FinTip, news, new purchase diversity, free money. We're talking about dividends, high lows. We're talking about some crypto, pick of the week, recap of the pick of the week from last week, the quote, the mindset, and then the final thought to really kick us into next week. So what we're talking about for the FinTip this week, it's important to have your play money and have that different from your savings or your long-term retirement money. That's why we have rules. That's why we have our money spread out. It's not all just in one spot. And it's just important to lean on our resources. I know we have a couple different financial advisors who are in the group chat with us. But if you don't know one, there's actually my older brother, Hayden. He's also a financial advisor. And it's important to have a financial advisor in your network because they're going to know some of those things about money that you don't even want to know because sometimes they get a little confusing. For news this week, Volkswagen plans to make their own EV batteries, and I think that's pretty interesting because generally Tesla and all these other companies who are making EVs, they're not making the product in-house. They're actually outsourcing that. So for them to do it in-house and for them to really start working on that is absolutely huge, and it might actually jump up their position when it comes to what's going on with the EV population altogether. Mask mandates are on the spread. I'm not too pumped about that, but I try to leave my reservations and my politics on the side of that. Delta variant is on the spread, so lots of people are getting it. So lots of states, including New York City and other states, I can't name them off the top of my head, but they're putting mask mandates in place. Even Tesla, which is typically a pretty conservative company, they're putting mask mandates in place for their companies. So Robinhood, with their IPO, they got frozen, which I think is pretty hilarious. We did call the jump on this, so I'm pumped that it is doing very well. But they did get frozen for volatility for how high they were hopping on, and a bunch of people were trading it. So that's interesting to see how they halted everybody else from making money, and then their stock alone got halted itself. Suicide Squad was a big disappointment in the box office due to the Delta variant, so we'll see if that impacts Disney's earnings coming this week. Other companies with earnings this week, AMC, NEO, Coinbase, I think that might be their first earnings, and then Chegg are all things in my portfolio that have earnings this week. New purchase and diversity, I averaged down on UAVS. What that means is I had an average price for the position that I had in the company. It's not doing so hot right now, and the what it's being sold for right now is actually lower than what my average buy-in price is. So I'm buying a lot extra of UAVS to really bring my average price down because I still have long-term hopes for this company, and I own quite a bit of shares at this point. Dollar cost averaging, Snap, Alibaba, Boeing, Disney, and then $5 went to my smart portfolio this week. So it was a pretty light buying week for me this week. But that's not a problem. As long as we're putting some money away in long term, then we're going to be able to see the gains of long-term compounding interest. So for free money this week, Chegg and Coursera Inc. were both free money that we got from Stash. The link will be in the description after the video is posted. And then dividends this week, Lowe's is a long-term favorite that is paying us just to hold on. Lowe's is one of the quickest companies to bounce back from when the COVID crash hit. And it's just been a pretty strong company ever since I put it in my portfolio. Definitely recommend having it within yours. Highs and lows this week. Bunch of highs that really pulled us above that 1.32%. Volkswagen was up 5%. Inseego was up 5%. POW, that's ammo, was up 7.5%. Square was up 11%. And then the real thing pulling me up above water this week, LK, which I own 100 shares in, was up 15%. This is a long-term hold for me. They're up quite a bit this year. They had some fraudulent activity going on, but it didn't ever really stop their main base, and they have more stores in China than Starbucks does. So Luckin Coffee, once it's put back on the market, I'm going to be swooping up a lot more shares. For lows of the week, Sunrun was down 9%, a great time to buy. Li Auto is down 13%, Plug is down 6%, Workhorse is down 11%, and then Alfie is down 9%. Sunrun had a pretty bad EPS result, but anytime it's dropping, I think it's a great time to buy. I'm dollar cost averaging on my Sunrun, so at all times, pretty much every single day, I'm buying more. For crypto this week, we had an absolutely awesome week in the crypto sphere. Ethereum really looking like it's going to continue to keep catching up to Bitcoin as Bitcoin keeps on projectiling upwards. Ethereum's starting to catch up some ground. So Bitcoin was up 10% this week. ETH was up 21%. ETC Classic Ethereum was up 14%. ADA was up 9%. And then Dogecoin is back to the moon, up 18%. So a lot of people are excited about Dogecoin coming back. But I'm excited about crypto coming back across the board. When the market is up, that is just positive. I saw gold was down on its yearly index, I think like 12%, or on its monthly index, I can't remember which one. But crypto is up significantly higher than that in the triple digits. So something to keep an eye on as people look for hedges against inflation. But the crypto winner this week is ETH at 21%, pretty much blowing everything else out of the water. So for my recap of the pick of the week from last week, Square, that's the ticker SQ, was up 11% after that huge successful merger. We're up 40 to 29 when it comes to the pick of the weeks and having our guests on and us pick our owns. So for the pick of the week this week, I'm going to do something that I've never done before, and that's bring something and running it back 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to pick Square again. I know they were up 11% last week, and that's pretty huge. But Jack Dorsey, he's got some things going on. He really has a motivated mindset, and he likes to branch out. And I would not be surprised if he's going to drop another dime on us this week. So I'm running it back with Square as the pick of the week again this week. Also, I'm expecting a pretty big earnings with Disney. They lowered what their liability and what their overhead was significantly with this whole last year and in this last quarter, and then with them seeing that they can really tackle some more profitable income from streaming Disney Plus, I think that's absolutely massive for them too. So they're going to be another pick of the week for me with their earnings this week. So running it back with Square and then Disney are going to be my pick of the week this week. For the quote of the week this week, in the aspect and the mindset of relaxing and slowing down, slowing down is sometimes the best way to speed up. And that's by Mike Vance. And I'll say that again, slowing down is sometimes the best way to speed up. Sometimes making calculated decisions and really slowing down to really analyze your whole situation, like we talked about last week with evaluation, it's really going to set you, slingshot you forward rather than hold you back. Slowing down is sometimes the best way to speed you up. So mindset of the week this week, I'm really going to take time to myself. I'm going to reset. I'm going to relax. I'm going to focus inward, mend my processes, and make sure I'm hitting the gym every single day this week. I'm building a plan for the next couple of months of an avenue for me to be successful, not only with myself, but how I can help the other people in my circle be successful too. So final thoughts, if you're not on my Instagram yet, you should definitely hop on and follow the Instagram feed because we are posting live from both the Facebook and the Instagram now. So that's something I'm super pumped that I'm able to bring back to you guys now. If you're not on the Student Athlete Journey to Success, every Tuesday we have our mastermind group where we work as old student athletes who are getting our minds together on how we can really push each other forward and how we can help win this little game we call life. Because we're not in sports anymore, we really have to transition that winning and hustler mentality into something else. So every Tuesday at 8 p.m., I am one of the co-founders of the Student Athlete Journey to Success, and we're absolutely crushing it every single week. So thanks for tuning in again this week, guys. I'll be back next week for the 67th week back-to-back. We're bringing you weekly recaps to bring financial literacy to as many people as we possibly can, because my job right now as a retirement specialist is to educate 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds to make sure that they're saving for their long term. If I can crush that problem early on and nip it in the butt, then it'll allow us to really be way farther ahead when it comes to the end game. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Repost, comment, and shoot me any questions that you do have. We'll talk to you soon.